The golden hour drapes itself lazily over the rooftops of Paris, spilling honeyed light across narrow lanes and iron balconies. Somewhere beyond the city's heart, hidden among sleepy trees and old stone walls, a quiet train station waits. Timeless, almost secret, tucked away from the hurried pulse of the metropolis. You arrive just as the last rays of sun stretch long fingers across the platform. The evening air is balmy, with the faint scent of fresh bread and warm stones lingering. Your footsteps echo softly as you cross the time-worn pavement, pulling your small leather suitcase behind you. Before you stands the Dreamland train. Its carriages are painted a deep forest green, polished to a muted shine that reflects the colors of the sunset. The brass handrails gleam like molten gold, and each window is framed by delicate Art Nouveau patterns that seem almost to hum with a quiet life of their own. A porter in a crisp navy uniform stands beside the open door. He gives you a polite nod, his cap tilted at an angle, as if sharing a secret, that you are about to leave behind the ordinary world and step into something softer, slower, utterly your own. You offer a small smile in return and ascend the steps. The moment you cross the threshold, the world changes. Inside, the carriage feels like stepping into a dream spun from velvet and wood. Rich burgundy seats, plump and welcoming, line either side. The walls are paneled with warm walnut, exuding a faint, comforting scent of beeswax and age. Small lamps with tasseled shades glow on every table, casting pools of buttery light that dance gently with the motion of the train. There is music somewhere, soft and distant, the whisper of a string quartet, or perhaps only the melody of your own heart slowing its beat to match the rhythm of this place. You find your seat, a window seat, naturally, with a little brass plaque engraved with your name. It feels as if this spot has been waiting for you, patiently, across countless evenings just like this one. You settle into the velvet cushions. They are deep and giving, cradling your weight as if welcoming you home. The blanket draped over the armrest is soft as cloud fleece, inviting you to draw it over your lap. You do so instinctively, feeling the gentle weight anchor you further into the present moment. Outside the window, Paris breathes its last sigh of the day. You see a young boy chasing after a runaway kite, the fabric flashing red and gold against the violet sky. A woman carrying a basket of peaches pauses at a fountain to rearrange her shawl. Two lovers, hand in hand, move languidly through the streets, already speaking in the hush of evening voices. The world feels slower here, softer, as if wrapped in layers of gauze. A gentle chime sounds through the carriage, 3 notes, low and mellow, signaling the train's departure. There is no jolt, no rough beginning. The Dreamland train simply begins to glide as naturally as a river flowing downhill, as effortlessly as a dream unfolding behind closed eyes. You feel the smooth, rhythmic motion beneath you, a tender rocking, barely perceptible, but deeply soothing. The clatter of wheels against track is muffled, transformed into a lullaby of soft, measured beats. You lean your head against the padded wall by the window and close your eyes for a moment. Breathing in, you notice the scents that fill the air: polished wood, worn leather, the delicate sweetness of lilies placed in a vase across the aisle, and underneath it all, the faint sharpness of distant rain somewhere beyond the city. You open your eyes again and watch Paris slipping past. At first it's all familiar: narrow stone streets, shutters painted in faded blues and greens, balconies overflowing with geraniums. Children play hopscotch in a courtyard. An old man tends to a tomato plant on a windowsill, his motions slow and tender. Then, slowly, the city unspools, dissolving into wide boulevards lined with plane trees, then into scattered cottages with terracotta roofs. You sip from the glass of water set neatly on your table. It's icy cold, and the taste is startlingly pure, a clean slate against the warmth of the evening. Outside, the fields stretch open, golden oceans of wheat and sunflowers nodding their heads in the gentle breeze. Every so often, the land undulates into a soft green hill or dips into a hollow where mist clings stubbornly to the earth. The sky continues its transformation, deepening from lavender to indigo with streaks of molten orange near the horizon. A few stars blink awake, tentative, as if testing whether the night is ready for them yet. You watch the countryside flow past with a kind of hushed awe. It feels endless, eternal, like the slow breathing of the earth itself. The rhythm of the train seeps into your bones. Click, 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 click. The sound becomes a part of you, sinking with the steady rise and fall of your chest. You notice details you might otherwise miss. A lone deer, standing at the edge of a distant wood, watching the train pass. A scarecrow, arms outstretched, casting a long, thin shadow over a field of corn. An old stone well, its sides crumbling gently into the grass, still standing after who knows how many seasons. Somewhere deep inside, a sense of quiet wonder unfurls, like a fern stretching toward the light. You are not rushing toward anything. You are not leaving anything behind. You are simply moving, carried by something larger than yourself, something timeless and good. Your eyelids flutter closed again. Inside your mind's eye, you begin to imagine the places you're traveling toward. Lavender fields endless as the sea, their perfume thick and heady in the sun-baked air. Villages where shutters swing lazily on iron hinges and fountains bubble in sleepy squares. Ancient aqueducts that span sparkling rivers, their stones worn smooth by the hands of countless summers. You drift in and out of these daydreams, each as soft and shapeless as mist. Time becomes liquid. It pools around you, slow and heavy, until you forget altogether that it exists. The conductor's voice comes over the speaker again, a low, velvety murmur. Next stop, Provence, the Valensole Plateau, lavender fields in bloom. The corners of your mouth lift into a small, drowsy smile. Perfect. Outside, the light deepens still. The stars gather their courage and come out in force, scattering silver across the velvet sky. The land below glows faintly, a patchwork quilt stitched with dark hedgerows and silvered fields. The dreamland train continues on, a river of light flowing through the heart of the French countryside. You pull the blanket tighter around you and close your eyes for the final time before arrival. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. Only this: the slow, steady breathing of the earth, the soft hush of wheels on track, the deep, profound peace of a journey just beginning. The dreamland train slows. You feel it first, not with your eyes, but with your body. A gradual easing of the gentle rocking, a subtle shift in the rhythm of the wheels on the tracks. Outside the window, the landscape seems to draw closer, the details sharpening into focus. The brakes sigh, long and low, a whisper against the growing quiet. The train pulls into a tiny station, little more than a platform shaded by plane trees, and a small stone building painted in soft yellows, its roof a patchwork of old terracotta tiles. The sign reads, Valensole. Beneath it, a second smaller sign, Bienvenue, welcome. You rise slowly from your seat, the blanket slipping from your lap in a soft cascade. The air that greets you as you step onto the platform is a revelation. Warm, rich, heavy with scent, not the sharp, busy smells of a city, but something ancient, earthy, and profoundly alive. Lavender. The perfume of 1,000 blooms rolls toward you in invisible waves. It's not a single note, but a symphony. Sweet at first, then spicy, then grounding, like the barest hint of pine and rosemary lingering beneath the purple sea. You breathe deeply and again, feeling it fill not just your lungs but your whole being, sinking into your muscles, your thoughts. The platform is empty, save for a few travelers disembarking with you. A woman with a straw sun hat tied loosely beneath her chin, a man cradling an old camera in his hands. Everyone moves slowly, dreamily, as if reluctant to break the enchantment that hangs thick in the Provençal air. Ahead, a narrow path winds away from the station, flanked by dry stone walls crumbling at their edges. Beyond those walls, lavender, endless and unbroken, a carpet of soft purple that stretches toward the farthest hills. The sun tilts low in the sky, its light rich and golden, slanting across the fields and catching the movement of the plants in the breeze. The lavender ripples like an inland sea stirred by some gentle, unseen current. You follow the path, your sandals crunching softly against the sun-baked earth. After a few minutes, unable to resist the pull of the fields, you step carefully over the low stone wall. The soil here is dry and pebbly underfoot, still warm from the day's heat. You pause to slip off your sandals, feeling the ground directly against your skin. It is rough, but not unpleasant. Grounding, textured, real. The contrast of the cool evening air on your skin and the lingering warmth of the earth creates a delicious, shivering balance. You step forward into the lavender. The rows are wide enough to walk through comfortably, though the plants brush your calves and thighs with every step, their silken leaves and blooms grazing your skin. Tiny bees float lazily between the blossoms, their wings a low hum that merges perfectly with the breath of the wind. They pay you no mind, intent on their endless patient work. You walk slowly, almost reverently, trailing your fingertips along the tops of the plants. The sensation is light, whisper soft, as if the field is breathing, and your touch is nothing more than a part of that breath. Each movement releases fresh bursts of fragrance. Here, closer to the source, the scent is even richer, even deeper. It is layered with the faint sweetness of wild thyme and the sharper note of sun-warmed grasses. Above you, the sky has begun its slow surrender to twilight. The blue deepens, brushed here and there with strokes of peach and rose. A few slender clouds catch the last fire of the sun, glowing pink and gold before slipping into silver. The world feels vast and intimate at once. An endless sky, an endless field, and you, a single quiet heartbeat moving through it all. You pause. Around you, the lavender rolls away in every direction, soft and unbroken, save for a few ancient olive trees hunched in the distance like silent, wise old guardians. Somewhere, far off, a bird calls, a low, melodic trill that fades into the warm hush of the evening. You close your eyes and let the sounds and scents and textures wash over you. The soil beneath your feet, crumbling and alive. The brush of the plants against your skin, their coolness after the day's heat. The hum of insects, the whisper of the breeze, the slow ticking of your own heartbeat. For a moment, you let go completely. No thoughts, no expectations, only the feeling of being small and infinite at once. A traveler, a dreamer, a part of this wide, breathing earth. You open your eyes again. In the slanted light, the lavender fields seem to glow from within. each tiny flower illuminated by the sun's parting gift. You walk on, deeper into the field. The rows curve gently, following the undulations of the land, and soon you are entirely surrounded. Here, in the heart of the lavender sea, the world falls away completely. There is only you, and the scent, and the sky. You find a small clearing where the rows break slightly, creating a natural hollow. Sitting down carefully among the plants, you draw your knees up and wrap your arms around them, resting your chin lightly. The plants sway around you, brushing softly against your arms, your legs. The hum of the bees is distant now, as if even they have retreated into a slower rhythm. You watch the light continue its slow transformation. The colors shift, the golds fading to pinks, the pinks to indigo, the lavender itself deepening into a richer purple as the day's last light melts into the coming night. Somewhere nearby, you hear a rustle, a rabbit perhaps, or a hedgehog making its shy way through the fields. You smile, warmed by the thought of other small, secret lives unfolding quietly around you. In this moment, nothing else matters. The journey here, the world you left behind, they feel like distant dreams, hazy and unimportant. Here, there is only stillness, fragrance, breath, and light. You reach out and pluck a small sprig of lavender, rolling it gently between your fingers. The tiny blooms release a fresh surge of scent, sharper now, almost peppery. You raise it to your nose and breathe in deeply, savoring the way it fills you up, grounding you even as it lifts you into something lighter, freer. The breeze strengthens slightly, stirring the plants into a soft chorus of movement. You close your eyes again and lean back into the earth, feeling the soil firm against your spine, the plants cradling you on either side. Above you, the sky deepens to velvet. The first stars appear, shy, scattered, blinking shyly against the fading light. You stretch out your arms, letting your fingers brush the tops of the lavender once more. It feels like floating. It feels like dreaming, awake. A distant church bell tolls somewhere across the hills, its notes soft and round, marking the passage of time without urgency. You could stay here forever, you think. Breathe here forever. Dream here forever. But somewhere within you, a small tug, not a disruption, but an invitation, reminds you that the journey is still unfolding. Gently, slowly, you rise from your place among the lavender. Brushing stray petals from your clothes, you make your way back toward the path, pausing once to look back. The field stretches behind you, endless and perfect, bathed now in starlight and silence. You step carefully over the low stone wall and follow the winding path back toward where the Dreamland train waits, its windows aglow like welcoming lanterns against the twilight. The night is young, the journey is only beginning, and Provence, with all its ancient sweetness, has woven itself into your dreams forever. The Dreamland train hums gently behind you, a quiet promise of continued journeys. But for now, your feet carry you toward the heart of the small Provençal village. The path is narrow and winding, paved with irregular stones worn smooth by countless footsteps across the centuries. Each stone has a slight tilt to it, a memory of the shifting earth beneath, a testament to the patience of time. Above, warm yellow lanterns suspended from iron posts begin to glow as the sky deepens from violet to a dusky navy. They cast long, soft beams across the cobblestones, highlighting the dust motes that drift lazily in the balmy evening air. You wander slowly, savoring every step. On either side, the village rises in a patchwork of pastel walls. Gentle creams, sun-faded pinks, cool, dusty blues, each building unique, yet blending seamlessly into the next like brushstrokes on an impressionist's canvas. Wooden shutters cling open to the stone facades, their paint peeling in places, lending the village a kind of dignified, aging beauty. Window boxes overflow with geraniums and trailing ivy, their colors rich and wild against the soft-toned walls. You pass a tiny bakery, its door propped open to let the sweet evening air inside. The scent that floats out to greet you is intoxicating. Buttery croissants, the deep yeastiness of rising bread, a whisper of chocolate and almonds. Without thinking, you pause at the threshold, breathing deeply. The baker, a stout woman with flour-dusted hands, catches your eye and smiles warmly, as if recognizing a fellow lover of simple joys. She gestures to a tray just emerging from the oven, filled with small golden brioches, crowned with coarse sugar crystals. You promise yourself you'll return later, after exploring. The path leads you onward, winding toward the heart of the village, the square. It appears gradually, revealed piece by piece, like a slow dawning dream. First, the edge of a stone fountain comes into view, its surface aged to a soft, mossy green. Then the glint of moving water, catching the lantern light and scattering it across the worn paving stones. The square itself is small, intimate, cradled on all sides by the embracing arms of the village. A few gnarled olive trees stand sentinel at the corners, their silvery leaves whispering in the evening breeze. A group of locals sit clustered at one table, sipping tiny cups of coffee and murmuring in the low musical tones of French spoken without hurry. The fountain dominates the center of the square. It is an old thing, carved from a single massive stone, its edges softened by time. Water flows from the mouth of a lion carved in shallow relief, tumbling down into the basin below with a soft, steady murmur. You drift toward it, drawn by the sound. As you near, you see that the stone is slick with moss in places, and the scent of the water, mineral, clean, tinged faintly with iron, rises to meet you. You trail your fingers through the cool stream. It rushes gently over your skin, leaving a ghost of chill that fades almost instantly in the soft evening air. You find an empty bench near the fountain and sit, stretching your legs out and leaning back against the cool metal slats. The world slows even further. Around the square, small shops close their shutters for the night. The hardware store with its ancient tools gleaming behind dusty glass, the tiny apothecary with bundles of dried lavender hanging from its awning. One by one, the doors click softly shut, but the square remains alive. Children chase each other barefoot across the stones, their laughter rippling into the air like thrown pebbles. An old man plays a slow, lilting tune on a battered accordion from a shaded doorstep. The scent of baking lingers still, joined now by the smoky aroma of meat roasting somewhere close, perhaps a small restaurant preparing for the evening's guests. You watch as a young woman with a long skirt and bare shoulders crosses the square, carrying a tray laden with glasses of wine and bowls of olives. The light from the lanterns pools at her feet, following her like a second golden shadow. You feel no urge to move, no pressing need to act, only a deep, settled contentment, as if you are a part of the square itself. Another stone worn smooth by time. After a while, you rise and meander toward a small cafe tucked into the corner of the square. Its tables spill out onto the stones, covered with simple white cloths and tiny vases holding sprigs of lavender and rosemary. The cafe is half full, the gentle clink of cutlery and low conversation filling the warm night air. You choose a table tucked beneath an overhanging vine, its thick green leaves forming a natural canopy overhead. A candle flickers in a glass holder, casting slow, hypnotic shadows that dance across your hands. The waiter approaches, a boy no older than 20, with tousled hair and a sun-warmed smile. He speaks a lilting French, but somehow you understand perfectly. Or perhaps it doesn't matter. The language of evening cafes is universal. You order something light, a glass of chilled rosé perhaps, and a small plate of cheese and bread, and lean back in your chair, drinking in the scene around you. The wine arrives, pale pink and cold enough to bead the glass with delicate droplets. You lift it to your lips and sip slowly. The flavor is crisp and clean, with the faintest trace of strawberries and herbs, like tasting the memory of the sun itself. You tear a piece of bread from the small basket, feeling the warm give of the crust, the pillowy softness within. The cheese is creamy and rich, flavored faintly with the scent of wildflowers and grass. Each mouthful feels like a slow unfolding of summer, tangible, immediate, sacred. The accordion music drifts over the square again, slow and sweet. You let yourself drift with it, your body relaxing deeper into the chair, the cool wine melting through your veins. Somewhere across the square, a cat slinks from shadow to shadow, its eyes catching the candlelight like twin stars. The olive trees shiver in a sudden gust of breeze, scattering silver confetti across the square. You sip your wine, tear another piece of bread, savor another sliver of cheese. The world grows softer still, as if the edges of reality are blurring, melting into one another. The fountain's murmur becomes a lullaby. The lantern's glow becomes the last memory of day. The square becomes a cradle, rocking you gently between waking and dreaming. Time ceases to matter. There is only this: the warmth of wine in your mouth, the scent of lavender in the air, the sighing trees, the slow dance of candle flames, the quiet murmur of old stone. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the breeze kiss your face, carrying with it the 1,000 tiny stories whispered by the village. When you open them again, the sky is a deep indigo. The first true stars have emerged, faint, shy, trembling. You lean back, tipping your head to watch them. For a long moment, you do nothing else. No thoughts. No plans, only the simple, perfect act of stargazing from a quiet village square in the heart of Provence. The dreamland train waits, somewhere not far away. But for now, the night is yours. The lavender fields, the fountain's lullaby, the star-scattered sky, they are all wrapped around you like a second skin. And you know, with a deep and certain peace, that there is no more perfect place you could be. You rise slowly from your chair at the cafe, feeling the warmth of wine still glowing softly inside you. The night air is cooler now, but still pleasant, still carrying the perfumes of lavender and baking stone, and something fresher too. The faint green scent of river water, just at the edge of your senses. Drawn by that invisible thread, you begin to walk. The path out of the village is narrower than before, a little wilder, the stones giving way to packed earth and gravel. Above you, strings of soft lights drape from one building to another, casting a golden glow over the way ahead. It feels like following a trail of stars laid carefully just for you. Your sandals crunch softly over the ground as you move deeper into the countryside. The fields have changed here. The wide seas of lavender give way to meadows thick with tall grasses, whispering secrets as they sway against one another. Crickets chirp steadily from the ditches, their rhythm matching the beat of your feet on the path. The moon has risen higher now, almost full, draping everything in a soft silver light. It feels like walking inside a dream. Ahead you see a line of trees, dark against the night sky. Cypresses, tall and slender, standing guard over the river valley. You know that just beyond them lies something extraordinary. You pass under their boughs, the scent of resin and earth deepening around you. And there it is, the Pont du Gard. The Roman aqueduct rises out of the landscape like a memory too old to forget. Its massive stones, worn smooth by 2,000 years of rain and wind, catch the moonlight and throw it back in a tapestry of pale gold and shadow. It spans the Garden River with impossible grace, 3 tiers of arches stacked atop one another, each so perfectly proportioned that it seems the aqueduct must have grown here, a natural feature of the land. You stop in awe, your breath catching quietly in your throat. For a long moment, you can only stand there, feeling the slow pulse of history thrumming through the ground beneath your feet. Built nearly 2 millennia ago by Roman engineers, without the aid of modern tools, the Pont du Gard still stands, serene, magnificent, enduring. You step closer, your footsteps muffled now by the soft grass and patches of moss that cling to the river's edge. The Garden River flows lazily beneath the arches, a ribbon of silver moving between smooth stones. The air here is cooler, scented with damp earth and the metallic tang of the water. You find a low, flat rock near the riverbank and sit down carefully. The stone is still warm from the day's sun, and it feels good against your palms as you lean back and let the world settle around you. The aqueduct towers above, framed by the stars and the slowly drifting clouds. Its arches seem to echo the shape of the heavens themselves, each one a gateway not just through space, but through time. You close your eyes and imagine the hands that built it, the rough calluses of the stonemasons, the shouted orders of the overseers, the creak of ancient wooden scaffolds swaying under the weight of ambition. You imagine the river then, wilder, faster, carving its way through the valley. You imagine the sun rising over these same stones, day after day after day, as empires rose and crumbled, as generations lived and died, as the world shifted and turned around it. And yet, here it stands, solid, silent, timeless. A reminder that some things endure, that beauty and intention and human hands reaching upward toward the sky can leave behind miracles. You open your eyes again. The river chuckles softly at the edges of its stones. A breeze stirs the reeds along the bank, sending tiny ripples across the water's surface. The aqueduct's reflection shivers gently, a second, dreamlike version of the real thing. You slip off your sandals once more and trail your bare toes in the cool, flowing water. It slips around your skin like silk, chilly and invigorating, grounding you firmly to this moment. Above, a bird wheels silently against the stars, its silhouette fleeting and perfect. You lean back on your hands, tilting your face toward the sky. The stars seem closer here, brighter, as if the aqueduct itself is pulling them nearer. An ancient bridge not just across the river, but between the earth and the heavens. You sit there for a long time, breathing in the stillness, feeling your heart slow to match the lazy rhythm of the river. Around you, the night deepens. The world shrinks to simple things. The curve of the moon overhead, the whisper of water, the solidity of stone against your back. No past, no future, only now, only here. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls, a low, resonant sound that seems to roll along the river valley, filling the spaces between arches and stars. You shiver lightly, but it's not from cold. It's from wonder. You dip your hand into the river, feeling the way it presses against your palm, patient and strong. Then you lift your hand and watch the droplets slide from your fingers, catching the starlight before vanishing into the current. You think about the millions of hands that must have touched this river before you. Roman soldiers, medieval shepherds, wandering poets, simple villagers carrying baskets of figs and grain. All of them standing here, perhaps, watching the same river slip past, gazing up at the same silent stones. And now you, part of the river's memory, part of the aqueduct's story. You smile quietly to yourself. The journey is not about rushing, it's about lingering, pausing long enough for the soul to catch up to the body. You take one last long look at the Pont du Gard. The arches glow softly in the moonlight, and in the rippling water below, a second aqueduct flows, dreamlike, toward infinity. You rise slowly from the rock, slipping your sandals back onto your feet. Your legs feel heavy, relaxed, grounded by the long sitting, but your spirit feels light, like mist rising from the river. The path back toward the train beckons softly. You turn and follow it, the aqueduct receding behind you, not disappearing, but folding itself neatly into the pocket of your memory, where all perfect places live. The fields open around you again, the grass brushing your ankles. The crickets resume their steady chorus. The dreamland train is waiting. Its windows glow faintly through the trees, warm and welcoming. You move toward it unhurried, still carrying the river's hush, the aqueduct's silent strength, the weight and wonder of the stars. Somewhere ahead, new dreams await. But tonight, the memory of this river, this ancient bridge of stone and air, will linger with you long after the journey rolls on. The dreamland train stands waiting for you, just beyond the fringe of trees. Its carriages glow like embers under the deepening sky, inviting you back into their warm embrace. You climb the steps slowly, savoring the texture of the brass handrail, warmed by the hands of travelers before you. Inside, the carriage is just as you left it, quiet, welcoming, humming with a soft, low energy like the purr of a well-loved cat. Your seat by the window waits with an open patience, the blanket neatly folded once again across the cushion. You settle in, the fabric cool against your skin, and exhale a long, slow breath. The doors sigh closed. The conductor tips his hat to you from down the aisle, his smile knowing and kind. No words are needed. Everything here moves with unspoken understanding. With a barely perceptible shiver, the dreamland train eases forward, sliding into motion so smoothly that you hardly notice you've begun moving at all. Outside, the last of the twilight clings stubbornly to the edges of the world. You watch as the trees slip away, replaced by open fields, stretching vast and golden under the low, deepening sky. Sunflowers, row upon row of them, facing the fading sun, their heavy heads bowing slightly as if in reverence. Their faces, broad and bright even in this waning light, seem to drink in every last drop of gold the day has to offer. The fields ripple as the train moves past, the tall stalks swaying together like the murmuring of a great golden congregation. You press your forehead lightly against the cool glass of the window and watch them pass. There is something so profoundly simple, so heartbreakingly beautiful about it. This endless sea of sunflowers, still and faithful, worshiping the dying light. You close your eyes for a moment and let yourself drift. In your mind's eye, you see another image. Strokes of paint, thick and deliberate, swirling and dancing into vibrant life. You are thinking, of course, of Vincent van Gogh. the mad, brilliant dreamer of Provence, who once stood not far from here and painted these very fields, these very flowers, capturing their fierce, aching beauty with a wild honesty that no photograph could ever hold. You imagine him, a young man in a worn coat, standing in the heavy heat of a southern summer, his hat pushed back, his face sunburned and flushed with wonder. His hand moves feverishly across the canvas, as if trying to catch the very breath of the earth itself. You can almost feel his presence, lingering in the fields, stitched invisibly into the fabric of the land. Another train rolls past in the opposite direction, visible for a heartbeat, a blur of white and silver, sleek and modern, rushing away into the night. But the Dreamland train continues at its steady, measured pace. There is no hurry here, no destination more important than the journey itself. The fields stretch onward, now dotted with occasional olive groves and low stone farmhouses whose shutters are closed against the coming night. Each house seems to lean slightly into the land, as if seeking comfort from the wide, empty spaces around it. The train curves gently, following the natural lines of the valley. In the distance, low hills rise against the skyline, their silhouettes soft and blurred in the last dusky light. The colors outside the window have deepened, the golds richer, the blues more profound, the edges between sky and land melting together like watercolor on damp paper. You watch as a flock of birds, tiny, black, precise, lifts suddenly from a patch of sunflowers and wheels into the sky, scattering like thrown ink before disappearing into the coming dark. The sight sends a soft ache through your chest, that bittersweet blend of beauty and fleetingness that fills so many perfect moments. You wonder briefly what it would be like to live here, to wake each morning to the sight of the sun rising over these fields, to breathe this slow, perfumed air, to move through days measured not by the ticking of clocks, but by the angle of light across the stones. The thought is a comfort, a daydream you can tuck into the folds of your mind and return to whenever you need it. Outside the window, the sun finally brushes the horizon. The sky catches fire, a low, simmering blaze of deep orange and crimson, fading upward into indigo and then black. For a few perfect minutes, the entire landscape seems to glow from within, as if lit by some great, secret flame. The sunflowers darken, their golden heads turning to molten bronze, then to deep shadow. The world hushes, holding its breath. You feel the train slow slightly, adjusting to the incline as it begins to climb gently into the hills. The countryside grows wilder here, the fields broken by jagged outcroppings of rock, by sudden, startling bursts of wild poppies and broom. The scent through the slightly open window changes too. It's sharper now, the sweet clover mingling with the dusty dryness of sun-warmed stone and the clean, faint bitterness of distant pine. You draw the blanket a little higher, settling deeper into your seat. The rhythm of the train, the steady, soft clatter of wheels against rail, begins to weave itself into your breathing. Click, 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 in time with your heartbeat, in time with the pulse of the world outside. As you watch the last of the day slip away, you think again of Van Gogh, how he saw the world, not just with his eyes, but with his whole soul. Every curve of sky, every twist of a sunflower's stalk, every ripple of wheat, not static things, but alive, urgent, trembling with some fierce inner truth. It's not madness, you think. It's seeing so deeply that it burns. You close your eyes and let the memory of the fields settle inside you. The golden flood of flowers, the warm river of evening light, the whisper of the train as it carried you through a living painting. When you open your eyes again, The landscape has changed once more. The fields are gone, replaced by dense woods that press close to the tracks, their shadows deep and mysterious. The moon rides high overhead now, full and luminous, casting silver pathways through the trees. The dreamland train slips silently onward, deeper into the heart of the night. You breathe in the cool, sweet darkness and feel yourself melt into the motion, into the moment. You are no longer a visitor here. You are part of the landscape, as natural and necessary as the stones, the stars, the fields, and the sea. The journey stretches out before you, infinite and welcoming. And somewhere ahead, just beyond the next bend, the next breath, more dreams wait, ready to unfold under the endless star-shot sky. The dreamland train slows once again, its gentle rocking easing into stillness. You blink open your eyes, you hadn't even realized they were closed, and sit up straighter, brushing the folds of the blanket from your lap. Outside the window, the first lights of Avignon sparkle against the deep blue canvas of twilight. You gather your things, though truly you carry almost nothing, and step off the train into the warm embrace of the southern evening. The platform here is old, paved with broad stones, worn smooth by centuries of travelers. The air holds a different weight, thicker with the scent of river water and stone, cooler with the first shy breezes of nightfall. Above you, the sky has slipped into a deep indigo, flecked with the faint shimmer of the earliest stars. You begin to walk, drawn toward the center of the old city. The path from the station leads you under an ancient archway, the heavy stone overhead etched with soft marks of time. The ghostly outlines of names, of trades, of years scratched and worn away. Beyond the arch, the medieval walls of Avignon rise proudly. They encircle the city like a protective embrace, their weathered towers standing watch over the world within. Soft lights illuminate the walls from below, casting long, dramatic shadows up their sides. The stones seem to glow with their own memory, not just of battles and kings, but of festivals, songs, prayers whispered into the night air. You pass through the gate and into the heart of the city. The streets here are narrow and winding, paved with cobbles that catch the lantern light and throw it back in small, dancing reflections. Shops and cafes are nestled close together, their windows spilling warm pools of golden light onto the sidewalks. Muted conversations drift through open windows. The clink of wine glasses, the low hum of laughter, the scratch of a violin tuning up for an evening song. You wander without aim, letting your feet choose the path. The city feels alive but not hurried, like a living storybook that breathes in time with the slow, steady rhythm of the Rhone River flowing nearby. Soon, you find yourself standing before the bridge, the Pont Saint-Benezet, Avignon's famous broken bridge. Its arches stretch halfway across the river, reaching bravely toward the opposite bank before surrendering, crumbling into the water's slow current. Once, it crossed the whole expanse. Now, it stops in midstream, a poetic ruin, a memory of passage. A soft smile touches your lips. There's a kind of magic in it, the way it refuses to fall into sadness, standing there graceful and proud despite its incompletion. You step onto the bridge, your footsteps muffled against the smooth, ancient stones. The river below flows dark and steady, its surface a living mirror reflecting the lights of Avignon and the stars beginning to gather overhead. There is a wind on the bridge, not fierce but playful, tugging at your clothes, curling around your ankles, carrying with it the cool, damp scent of river reeds and old sleeping boats. You pause at one of the surviving arches and lean against the low wall. From here, the city unfolds before you, in a dreamscape of rooftops and spires, all bathed in the soft silver light of the rising moon. Somewhere nearby, a church bell rings, a single, deep, resonant note that vibrates through the air and settles into your bones. The sound is answered by another, further away, then another, until the entire city seems to echo with the low, harmonious song of bells. Each chime seems to slow the world even further, until time itself feels stretched, suspended, weightless. You stand there, breathing in the beauty of it all. The stars overhead, the river below, the ancient stones beneath your feet. You feel stitched into the tapestry of the place, another thread in a story that began long before you and will continue long after. The bells fall silent, leaving behind a profound, velvety hush. You leave the bridge, stepping once again into the winding alleys of the city. The streets are quieter now, the cafes have dimmed their lights, and most of the shopkeepers have drawn their shutters closed. Only a few souls wander here and there, a couple walking hand in hand, their heads bowed together in private conversation. A street musician packing away his guitar with tender care. The air smells of old stone, of rosemary growing in window boxes, of the faintest whiff of wood smoke curling from hidden chimneys. You wander aimlessly, your steps slow and unhurried, your mind draped in the same golden peace that seems to have settled over the whole city. The buildings lean inward toward the streets, their upper stories almost touching, creating narrow tunnels of shadow and light. Wrought iron balconies jut from every window, adorned with tangled vines, drying herbs, and the occasional cage holding a sleepy canary. You pause at a tiny square, no larger than a few paces across. In the center stands a stone well, its bucket long gone, the rope frayed and hanging like a forgotten thread. Around it, a few benches invite the traveler to linger. You sit down, the coolness of the stone seeping through your clothes, and tilt your head back to watch the sky. Above, the stars have multiplied. They crowd the heavens, glittering in thick constellations, their light soft and pulsing. You imagine the medieval travelers who must have paused at this same square, looking up at these same stars, feeling the same quiet awe that fills you now. A breeze stirs the air, sending dry leaves skittering across the cobblestones in tiny, hurrying dances. Somewhere, another bell tolls, slower now, softer. A signal not of time passing, but of time deepening, folding in upon itself like the closing petals of a night-blooming flower. You stand again and begin walking, feeling the soft fatigue of evening settling into your muscles, pleasant and welcome. You pass a shuttered bakery, the scent of baked sugar still clinging to its stones. A wine shop, its windows lined with dusty bottles catching reflections of the lamplight. A quiet alleyway where ivy grows unchecked over ancient walls. Everywhere, the past and the present weave together seamlessly, impossibly, beautifully. You find yourself drawn toward a larger square, the Place du Palais. At its far end, rising in solemn majesty, stands the Palais des Papes, the Palace of the Popes. Its great Gothic towers loom against the starry sky, their outlines softened by the darkness. In the moonlight, the stone appears almost blue, an enormous dream-carved shape sleeping atop the earth. You cross the empty square slowly. Your footsteps sound loud against the stones, yet somehow you feel you are not disturbing the quiet. You are part of it, woven into the hush. The palace seems to watch over you, not as a guardian, but as a witness, silent, knowing, benevolent. You pause at the foot of the steps leading up to the entrance. They are broad and shallow, worn into soft hollows by the tread of countless pilgrims, kings, cardinals, and wanderers before you. You imagine climbing them. Imagine entering the palace halls lit by flickering torches, the air thick with incense and history. But there's no need. The night itself is a cathedral. The stars are your candles. The bells, your choir. You breathe deeply, feeling the vastness of it settle gently into your chest. Here, there is no hurry. Here, even memory moves at the speed of dreams. You turn away at last, moving back through the winding streets. The dreamland train waits somewhere beyond the old walls, beyond the slumbering river. You follow the path out of the city, past sleeping windows and empty courtyards, past fig trees heavy with fruit, and the sweet smell of jasmine thick in the air. At the gate, you glance back once more. Avignon glows softly in the distance, cradled by its ancient stones, its bridges, its bells, and its dreams. You smile, tuck the memory carefully into your heart, and step back into the welcoming arms of the journey. The dreamland train hums with soft energy, its lights glowing warmly against the night. You board without a word, sinking into the velvet seat once again, the blanket waiting to gather you in. Outside, the moon follows your window like a guardian, and the journey, the slow, endless, beautiful journey, continues on into the starlit night. The dreamland train slides away from Avignon into the deeper folds of night. You lean your head against the cool pane of glass and close your eyes for a moment, feeling the soft pull of sleep against your thoughts. But some gentle instinct keeps you awake, keeps you here, tethered to the quiet wonder unfolding beyond the window. The city lights vanish behind you, swallowed by the undulating shadows of the countryside. The world becomes a whisper. The train moves like a lullaby, a smooth, steady hum along the tracks, as constant as breath, as soothing as a heartbeat in the darkness. Beyond the window, the land falls away, and suddenly the sky opens wide. You see it first in fragments, a glimmer, a shimmer, a curve of silver under the moon. The sea, the Mediterranean, stretches out before you, vast and infinite, its surface catching the light like molten silk. You feel your chest tighten with awe. The coastline is wild here. Sharp rocks plunging into the waves, low hills blanketed with sleepy olive groves, and the occasional lonely cypress leaning into the sea breeze. The moon hangs low over the water, so full and luminous that it seems almost to touch the horizon. Its reflection wavers on the restless surface of the sea, a ribbon of broken silver that leads toward the unseen, the unknown. Mist rises in soft fingers from the shoreline, blurring the line between land and water, sky and earth. The world beyond the train window becomes a dreamscape, a shifting mosaic of shadows and light, of stillness and movement. You sit perfectly still, hardly breathing, unwilling to disturb the fragile magic of the moment. The breeze through the slightly open window carries the salt-sweet scent of the ocean, tinged with something older, the scent of stone and time and hidden coves where the land meets the endless water. Somewhere in the distance, you catch the faint, mournful sound of a bell, a buoy perhaps, or a fisherman's warning bell, its voice drifting over the waves, lonely and beautiful. The train hugs the coastline, curving gently with the land. You pass through small villages, asleep under the weight of the stars. Clusters of houses painted white and ochre, their shutters tightly drawn, their narrow streets deserted. In the fields beyond, you catch glimpses of wild fennel and agave plants sprawling thick along the rocky soil. The sea is never far, always just beyond, always calling. The dreamland train slows again, its great heart pulsing softer now. You feel the shift in your bones before you hear the brakes sigh, before you see the tiny station lights glimmering ahead like lost fireflies. You gather your blanket around your shoulders and step once more from the warmth of the carriage into the living breath of the night. The platform is small, little more than a strip of stone tucked between the cliffs and the water. The village itself clings to the hillside above, its pastel houses stacked in haphazard rows, their shutters still tightly closed against the night. The air is thick with mist, soft and salty, wrapping itself around you like a second skin. You begin to climb the winding path toward the heart of the village. The cobbled road is narrow and steep, weaving between low stone walls draped in wild morning glories and trumpet vines. The mist curls in every hollow and corner, muffling the sound of your footsteps, turning the lamplight into soft golden halos. You climb slowly, savoring the effort, feeling your breath deepen and your muscles warm. At the top of the hill, the path levels out into a small piazza overlooking the sea. A stone fountain stands at the center, simple and unadorned, its basin catching the mist like a shallow mirror. Benches ring the square, empty now, save for a cat curled asleep atop one, its white fur glowing faintly in the dim light. You cross the piazza, your steps careful and quiet, unwilling to disturb the sacred hush of the early morning. Beyond the fountain, a low stone wall marks the edge of the village. You lean against it, peering over. Below, the harbor sleeps. A crescent of water cupped by the arms of two rocky outcroppings, cradling a handful of fishing boats that bob gently in the tide. Their masts sway against the soft silver sky, etching faint lines into the mist. Along the harbor's curve, the village continues. Small houses with terracotta roofs, their walls painted in shades of peach, lemon, and faded blue. The colors are muted now, washed in the gray light before dawn. But you know that in a few short hours, they will bloom under the sun's touch, vibrant and joyful. You close your eyes and breathe deeply. The air tastes of salt and stone, of unseen flowers tucked into window boxes, of the faint, elusive scent of the ocean's endless breathing. A low sound catches your ear. You open your eyes and see movement along the harbor's edge. Fishermen. A few early risers moving quietly among the boats, preparing for the day's work. You watch them in silence. Their motions are slow and practiced, born of generations spent learning the moods of the sea. One man mends a net, his fingers deft and sure even in the dim light. Another checks the mooring ropes, his boots thudding softly against the wooden planks. There is no hurry here, only a deep, patient rhythm. The rhythm of tides, of seasons, of life lived in step with the ocean's eternal pulse. The mist thickens for a moment, swallowing the harbor whole, then thins again, revealing new glimpses. A coil of rope, a scattering of silver fish on a wooden table, a lantern swinging gently in a fisherman's hand. You stand there a long while, letting the scene imprint itself into your memory. It feels ancient, eternal, a tableau untouched by time. Eventually, you turn and begin to wander back through the village. The streets are still empty, though behind closed shutters, you sense the slow stirring of life. A kettle whistling on a stove, the soft murmur of a radio, the creak of old wooden floors. You pass a tiny bakery, its windows already fogged with the heat from the ovens inside. The smell that drifts out to greet you is enough to make your mouth water. Fresh bread, butter, a hint of sugar and lemon. You promise yourself you'll return for breakfast once the village fully wakes. For now, you walk. You find a narrow staircase tucked between two buildings, leading downward. You follow it. The steps are steep and worn smooth, slick with mist. At the bottom, you emerge onto a small, hidden terrace overlooking the sea. A stone bench sits against the low wall, inviting. You sink onto it, drawing your blanket tighter around your shoulders. The mist lifts just enough for you to see the horizon, a thin, trembling line where the sea meets the sky. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the darkness begins to soften. The stars wink out one by one. The black of the sky turns to the deepest blue, then to a muted violet. A single bird calls, a clear, sweet note that hangs in the air like a blessing. You smile, feeling your heart lift with it. The first threads of light stretch across the water, weaving gold into the fabric of the dawn. The sea shivers, catching fire in patches of molten color. The village awakens behind you, shutters opening with soft creaks, footsteps sounding on cobbles, voices calling softly from window to window. You remain still, wrapped in the last quiet moments of night, the first trembling moments of day. The dreamland train will wait. Time will wait. Here, on this terrace above the waking sea, you are exactly where you are meant to be. And as the sun breaks free from the horizon, flooding the village and the harbor and the dreaming sea with light, you close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the new day wash over you. The first true breath of morning unfurls across the village like a golden mist. You sit a while longer on the stone terrace, watching the new light chase the last of the night shadows from the narrow streets, the rooftops, the harbor below. The sea, so silver and somber under the moon, now shimmers with streaks of rose and peach, like a painter dragging his brush across a wet canvas. The chill in the air eases, replaced by a gentler warmth, the promise of the coming day. The village stirs more fully now. You hear shutters creaking open all around you, hear snatches of conversation carried on the soft breeze, greetings called between windows, the clatter of dishes being set out, the occasional bark of a dog, eager for its morning walk. Drawn by a deeper hunger, not just for food, but for more of this simple beauty, you rise from the bench and make your way back up the narrow stairs toward the heart of the village. The air smells clean and new. There's still the familiar salt tang from the sea, but now it's mixed with the richer, heavier scent of baking bread, melting butter, and fresh coffee drifting from the open doorways. You follow your nose until you find the source, a tiny bakery cafe tucked into a corner of the piazza. The space is small, barely more than a few tables spilling out under a striped awning, the wood of the sign above the door weathered and cracked by 100 summers. Inside, the warmth hits you immediately, the scent of yeast and caramelized sugar wrapping around you like a heavy, welcoming blanket. Behind the counter, a smiling woman with flour-dusted hands greets you with a soft bonjour. Her voice is warm as the bread she pulls from the oven. You choose a table outside, shaded by the curling leaves of an old fig tree growing stubbornly from a crack in the stone. A tray arrives a few moments later, a flaky golden croissant still steaming from the oven, a small jar of apricot jam glowing like amber, and a cup of strong, dark coffee. You tear the croissant open with your fingers, releasing a puff of buttery steam. The layers inside are so light, they seem to sigh as you spread the jam across them. The first bite melts on your tongue, rich, tender, barely sweet. The coffee follows, its bitterness perfect, grounding the sweetness of the pastry, warming you from within. Around you, the village slowly comes alive. A few other tables fill, locals greeting each other with sleepy smiles and murmured conversation. A boy trots past carrying a basket too large for him, filled with herbs and lettuces. A group of fishermen linger nearby, laughing as they sip small glasses of dark, spicy coffee, their sun-lined faces open and unhurried. The church bells chime the hour, soft and low, blending with the hum of life building gently around you. You eat slowly, savoring every bite, every sip, letting the sun creep across your table and the morning weave itself into you. After a while, when your plate is empty and your coffee cup drained, you lean back in your chair and simply sit, feeling the slow, perfect rhythm of the place pulse through you. Eventually, you stand, brushing the crumbs from your lap. The beach calls now, a siren song of soft sand and whispering water. You wander through the streets toward it, your footsteps light, your spirit lighter still. The way is easy to find. The houses thin and fall away, replaced by open sky and the endless roll of the sea. The beach is small, a gentle curve of pale sand cradled by the village and the rocky arms of the headlands. At this hour, it is almost empty. Only a few early walkers trace slow paths along the tide line, their footprints stitched like delicate lace into the wet sand. The water laps softly at the shore, clear and shallow, revealing smooth stones and the occasional glint of a broken shell. You slip off your shoes and step onto the sand. It is cool and fine, still holding the last whispers of night chill, but the sun promises to warm it soon. You walk slowly along the water's edge, letting the tiny waves kiss your toes, feeling the gritty tickle of sand and salt between them. The breeze off the water carries the sense of kelp, of clean rock, of something sweet and indefinable that seems to belong only to the sea. Seagulls wheel overhead, their cries distant and plaintive. Here and there, tufts of seagrass bend and sigh in the breeze. You stoop once to pick up a perfect spiral shell, smooth and ivory white, still damp with the ocean's breath. You turn it over in your fingers, marveling at its tiny, infinite complexity before placing it carefully back where you found it. This place, this morning, feels like a secret given just to you. A pocket of the world untouched by hurry or worry, preserved in the perfect amber of the present moment. You continue your slow stroll until the beach curves to a rocky point where the waves break a little harder. There, a flat shelf of stone juts out into the water. You climb onto it carefully, feeling the sun-warmed rock solid beneath your bare feet. Sitting down at the edge, you dangle your legs over the side and watch the waves roll and break beneath you. The rhythm is hypnotic. The hush of the wave pulling back, the crash of it returning, the cool mist that rises to kiss your ankles. You breathe in time with it, matching the sea's endless heartbeat. In and out, in and out. Somewhere far beyond the horizon, the world continues. Cities wake, and traffic hums, and clocks tick forward. But here, none of that matters. Here, there is only the sun climbing higher in the sky, the warm stone beneath your hands, the salt wind tangling your hair, the slow exhale of the sea. You could stay forever, and maybe, in some way, you will. A part of you anchored here always, a ghost walking these sands, sitting on these rocks, breathing with these waves. The dreamland train will call you onward soon. The journey is not yet finished, but for now, there is only this: the shimmer of sun on water, the cry of gulls against the endless blue, the slow, deep pulse of the earth itself, steady beneath you. You close your eyes and let it all sink in, threading itself into the quietest corners of your soul. When you open them again, the world is even more beautiful. The sea shines like a spilled handful of jewels. The village behind you gleams, its pastel walls bright against the cliffside. The scent of baking bread, wildflowers and salt lingers on the air, weaving itself into the fabric of the day. You rise slowly, feeling the solid reassurance of the earth beneath your feet. The train awaits. The road unwinds ahead, full of promises whispered on the sea breeze. You begin to walk back toward the village, the sunlight warm on your back, the endless sky opening above you like a dream you have only just begun to understand. And somewhere, deep inside, you carry the sea's secret, tucked safely away where it will glow, quietly and eternally, long after the journey moves on. The village lingers behind you, glowing warmly in the rising sun, as you wander back through the winding alleys toward the dreamland train. Your steps are unhurried. Each corner turned reveals something new. A window box spilling over with trailing nasturtiums, a sleepy cat stretched languidly across a sunlit stair, a woman sweeping her doorstep while humming a song older than memory. The air is full of life now. The scents of roasting coffee and fresh herbs hang heavily, mingling with the bright, sharp tang of the sea. When you reach the small platform, the dreamland train awaits as if it has been dozing in the golden light, waiting patiently for you to return. Its brass fixtures glint in the early sun, and the windows glow faintly with reflected sky. You step aboard. Inside, it is cool and calm, the world outside muted to a soft, distant hum. You find your familiar seat by the window, the blanket folded neatly once more, a waiting embrace. You settle in just as the train gives a gentle sigh, a whisper of steam, and begins to move. The village recedes behind you, its pastel walls and curved harbor shrinking into the folds of the coastline, until all that remains is the endless roll of the Mediterranean Sea. The tracks follow the edge of the land, a narrow silver ribbon clinging to cliffs and rocky headlands. On one side, the rugged beauty of the earth, the scrubby hills dotted with olive trees and low stone houses. On the other, the infinite blue of the ocean, stretching away to where sky and sea meet in a seamless, trembling line. The sun has begun its slow descent now. Its light grows richer, heavier, gilding every surface it touches with a deep, molten gold. The olive groves shimmer silver green, the rocks glow warm and orange, the sea catches every color and throws them back in dazzling shards. The train glides through tunnels carved into the cliff, bursts briefly into brilliant sunlight, then slips back into the cool hush of the earth. Each time you emerge, the landscape seems subtly changed. The hills steeper, the water closer, the air sweeter. You crack the window slightly and let the breeze tumble in. It carries with it the smell of wild rosemary crushed underfoot, of lemon groves warming under the sun, of the salt and the life of the ocean itself. Birds wheel overhead, gulls mostly, but sometimes smaller, swifter shapes you can't name, their wings flashing white against the deepening sky. You pass small, forgotten stations tucked between cliffs and coves. Little platforms half swallowed by vines and time, where perhaps no train has stopped for years. The train moves slower now, as if savoring the approach to something sacred. You feel it too. A rising sense of expectation, a soft pull in your chest, as if the land ahead holds a secret you have been waiting your whole life to discover. The coastline rises sharply, cliffs jutting into the sea like the bones of some ancient creature. The train winds its way higher, following a path cut daringly into the stone. You glance out the window and catch your breath. The view is extraordinary. Below you, far below, the sea surges against the rocks in bursts of foam and silver spray. The light plays over the waves, turning them to molten glass. Beyond, the horizon stretches limitless and pure, a canvas painted in shades of blue and gold. The dreamland train begins to slow, its wheels singing a low, soft note against the rails. You sit up straighter, sensing the moment approaching. Ahead, nestled at the very crown of a cliff, is the retreat. A cluster of buildings, pale and sun-bleached, half hidden by cypress trees and flowering vines. There is no station here, only a small path winding upward from the tracks and a gate swinging gently in the breeze. The train comes to a stop. The conductor appears at your elbow, his eyes kind, his voice low. "This is your stop," he says. You smile, gather the lightness of your heart, and step down. The train gives a soft sigh behind you, as if exhaling its blessing, and glides away down the tracks, leaving only silence and the scent of warm stone and sea. You turn toward the retreat. The path is narrow but well-worn, curving gently through terraces of lavender, rosemary, and olive trees, twisted into fantastical shapes by centuries of salt wind. Their silver leaves whisper as you pass, brushing your fingertips against them. Small butterflies drift lazily through the air, their wings catching the gold of the sun. As you climb, the world falls away behind you. The sounds of waves and birds and distant village bells fade into a soft, contented hush. At the crest of the path, you reach a stone archway, carved with simple patterns of vines and stars. Beyond it lies the retreat. It is not grand, not ostentatious. It is beautiful in the way an old shell is beautiful, shaped perfectly by time, weathered and softened into something wholly at peace with its place. Low buildings of pale stone cluster around a central terrace paved in worn flagstones. Terracotta pots spill with herbs and geraniums. Wooden shutters are thrown open to the sea breeze, and simple linen curtains dance at the windows. At the far edge of the terrace, a low wall marks the cliff's end. Beyond it, the sea stretches out in endless invitation. A few other travelers are scattered about, reading quietly in chairs, tending small gardens, painting. All move slowly, dreamily, as if the air here carries its own secret music. You are not a guest here. You are family. You belong. You cross the terrace to the low wall and lean over it. The view steals the breath from your lungs. The sun floats just above the horizon now, huge and molten, casting a path of blazing gold across the rippling surface of the sea. The water drinks in the colors, scarlet, amber, indigo, and tosses them back in an endless, shimmering dance. The sky burns with glory, and every stone, every blade of grass, every breath of air seems touched by fire. You sit down on the warm stone ledge and simply watch. The sunset unfolds in slow, aching perfection. The sun kisses the sea, and for a heartbeat, the two are one. The colors deepen, then soften, then fade. The world exhales. Above, the first stars flicker timidly into being, shy sparks against the indigo vastness. The sea darkens to velvet. The breeze cools. The night settles gently over the retreat, a soft, protective hand. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with salt and rosemary and light. You could stay here forever, and perhaps, in some quiet way, you will. A part of you will always linger here, woven into the twilight air, cradled by the stones and the stars and the endless, dreaming sea. The journey continues. But for now, there is nowhere you must go, nothing you must do. Only this, only here, only the hush of the waves against the cliffs, the low murmur of the night awakening, the deep, golden peace that settles into your very bones. You close your eyes and smile, feeling yourself drift with the tide of dreams, carried forward on the endless journey. carried home. The sunset has melted fully into twilight. The last ribbons of gold and pink have vanished beyond the western horizon, leaving the sky a deep and endless shade of blue-black, freckled with the first bold stars. The warmth of the day lingers, trapped in the stones beneath your hands, and the air itself, a soft, tender heat that carries the scents of rosemary, lavender, and distant salt. You sit still on the low wall at the edge of the terrace, your legs swinging gently above the rocks and dark sea far below, watching as night settles like a silk cloth over the world. Around you, the retreat glows gently to life. Lanterns are lit one by one, their golden light pooling on the worn stones of the terrace, casting long, soft shadows that stretch and sway with the breeze. Small candles flicker on the tables scattered around the courtyard, their flames protected by glass. The light is low and welcoming, never harsh, as if designed to protect the sanctity of the growing darkness. There is music now, too, faint and delicate, as if the stones themselves are singing. A quiet melody played on an old guitar, the notes rising and falling like breaths on the night air. You can't see the musician from where you sit, but the music finds you easily, weaving through the olive trees and trailing along the walls, wrapping itself around you like a second blanket. It is a lullaby for the earth, a serenade for the stars. You lean back, resting your palms on the warm stones, and tilt your face upward. The sky is stunning. The stars are bolder now, thickening into constellations you can almost name. Orion chasing his prey across the heavens, the slow arc of Cassiopeia's throne, the bright eye of Sirius gleaming like a distant lighthouse. The Milky Way spreads across the sky like a river of powdered silver, too vast and beautiful to fully comprehend. It feels close enough to touch. You close your eyes for a moment and breathe deeply. The air here is richer somehow, laden not just with scent, but with memory, with peace, with some ancient secret knowledge whispered by the rocks and the sea and the slow-moving stars. When you open your eyes again, a soft, velvety hush has fallen over the retreat. Other travelers sit quietly at the tables, sipping wine, reading books, speaking in low voices that blend into the night. A pair of lovers strolls along the terrace, hands twined together, their laughter a soft bell that rises and fades into the dark. You rise slowly from your perch on the wall and wander toward the center of the courtyard. Your feet move silently over the warm stones, the faint creak of your sandals blending with the gentle music. You find an empty chair tucked close to one of the lanterns, a simple wooden thing with a soft, worn cushion, and settle into it, letting your body sink fully into its embrace. Someone has left a pitcher of cool water and a bowl of ripe fruit on the table nearby. You pour a glass and sip slowly, the coldness refreshing, grounding. The fruit glows softly in the lamplight. Plums, figs, tiny golden pears. You reach for a fig, its skin thin and fragile under your fingers. When you bite into it, the flesh is sweet and dark and rich, a taste so ancient it seems to bypass thought entirely and go straight to the soul. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, letting the flavors and the coolness of the water and the softness of the chair fold you deeper into the moment. The music shifts, slower now, softer, almost hesitant, as if the player too is reluctant to disturb the sacredness of the night. The breeze picks up slightly, just enough to rustle the olive branches, to set the lantern flames fluttering against their glass walls. You lean back and simply let yourself drift. The stars above you spin in their slow, eternal dance. The sea far below breathes in and out against the rocks. The retreat hums quietly with life, subdued, peaceful, complete. There is no sense of time here, no ticking clock, no heavy demands. Only the slow unfolding of the night, the slow unwinding of the world. You are aware distantly of the heaviness gathering in your limbs. Not unpleasant, but comforting, like the weight of a thick quilt on a cold night. Your eyes close without your bidding. Your breathing slows. The music fades further until it is only a memory carried on the breeze. You feel the earth's pulse beneath you, steady and slow and patient, older than anything you can name. You let it carry you. You let the weight of the night, the softness of the air, the song of the stars sink into your bones, until there is nothing left but breath and light and silence. Somewhere nearby, a shutter creaks lazily in the wind. A bell from a distant buoy tolls once, twice, then falls silent. You drift deeper. Images float lazily across your mind's eye. The silver river of the Milky Way, the golden glow of the village at dawn, the slow roll of the sea against the cliffs, the whisper of lavender brushing your legs as you walked, the rough warmth of sun-baked stones under your palms. You drift on them like a leaf on a lazy current, carried effortlessly forward into dreams. The world fades to the gentle thrum of the earth, the soft music of the spheres. Your breathing matches the rhythm of the waves far below, in and out, in and out. The stars blur and spin gently behind your closed eyelids. The lantern light softens into a golden haze. The retreat holds you safe, cradled between earth and sky, between sea and stone, between sleep and waking. There is nowhere you must go, nothing you must do. Only this, only here, only the endless, endless night, unfolding like a dark and glorious flower. You sink deeper, the last traces of thought slipping from you like mist rising from the sea. Only the pulse remains, only the breath, only the stars. And somewhere, carried on the soft wind, a voice, your own, or the earth's, or perhaps the dreamland train itself, whispers, "You are home." And you are, at last. The night deepens. It folds itself around the retreat like a velvet blanket, soft and immense, filled with the endless hush of sleeping earth and murmuring sea. You are almost entirely lost to sleep now, your body limp, your breath slow and rhythmic, your mind gliding across the delicate threshold between waking and dreaming. The chair beneath you feels like it has melted away. The ground, too. Even the terrace, the retreat, the rocky cliff, all of it dissolves until you are floating weightless in a warm, endless expanse. Somewhere, far below, or perhaps all around, the sea continues its eternal breathing. In and out, in and out, in and out. You drift upon it, not on a boat, but on a vessel spun from light and mist. There are no oars, no sails. You are carried purely by the whisper of the stars and the slow turning of the world. Above you, the sky is ablaze. The Milky Way, once a distant river of stars, now arches impossibly close. So near, you feel you could reach up and brush your fingertips across its glittering current. Shooting stars trace silver arcs across the heavens, leaving trails that shimmer and fade like sighs. You float onward, your vessel gliding silently across the ocean of night. The water itself is strange. It reflects not only the sky, but the dreams of the world. Flickering images of faraway gardens, silent cities built of glass and gold, forests where every leaf glows with its own inner light. Each ripple reveals a new wonder, a new memory, a new secret. You drift through them without effort, carried by currents deeper than time. There is no fear here, no longing, no sorrow. Only the soft unfolding of dream after dream, like the slow blooming of a midnight flower. Above, a great white star pulses slowly. Its light spills down onto you, bathing you in a peace so profound it feels like a second skin. You close your eyes, and yet still see the rich darkness alive with color and warmth, the unseen shapes of dreams weaving themselves together around you. You are aware, distantly, of others floating nearby, other dreamers, other travelers, their vessels shimmering faintly as they glide across the sea of stars. You feel them without needing to see them, their shared wonder, their quiet joy, their complete belonging. You are part of them. They are part of you. A single vast organism of dreaming life, breathing together beneath the endless, eternal sky. The journey continues. Ahead, rising slowly from the mist, is an island, or perhaps a mountain, or perhaps something altogether stranger. It shimmers, shifting forms as you approach. One moment it appears as a garden, lush and fragrant with unseen blossoms. The next, a towering spire of crystal, catching and refracting the starlight into dazzling rainbows. You feel no need to question it. In dreams, truth wears many shapes. Your vessel glides closer, and a path unfolds across the water, paved with stones of soft, glowing silver. You step from the vessel without hesitation. Your feet are bare, but the stones are warm and welcoming beneath them. The path leads upward, spiraling gently toward the heart of the island mountain garden. As you climb, the air grows even sweeter. You breathe it deeply, feeling it fill every corner of your being with light. The scent is impossible to name. Something like jasmine, something like sun-warmed earth after rain, something like the memory of laughter. At the summit, you find a clearing bathed in starlight. In the center stands a great tree, its trunk wide and gnarled, its branches stretching upward into the heavens. Its leaves are not green, but silver and deep blue, shimmering as if woven from fragments of the night sky itself. You step beneath its canopy. The ground here is soft, a mossy carpet that yields gently underfoot. You lie down without a thought, cradled by the earth, wrapped in the soft sighing of the tree's leaves above. Here, even thought fades. There are no questions left to ask, no stories left to tell, only presence, only being. The stars wheel silently overhead. The sea murmurs far below. The tree hums a low, comforting song, a sound too deep and ancient for words. You feel yourself sink further, as if becoming part of the earth itself, part of the roots and the stones and the pulsing heart of the island. There is no distinction now between you and the world, no barrier between inside and outside, between dream and dreamer. You are the breath of the ocean, the light of the stars, the soft whisper of the moss, the deep, patient song of the earth. You have come home to something older than memory, older than the stars themselves. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. You drift on this certainty, lighter than air, deeper than the sea. The dream continues, winding itself around you like a cocoon. Images bloom and fade in the darkness. A flock of white birds rising from a silver lake. A field of golden wheat under a sky streaked with amethyst. A small child's hand releasing a bright red kite into a laughing wind. 1,000 lives, 1,000 worlds, all flowing together into the great river of night. You do not need to hold them. You are part of them. They are part of you. The boundaries blur completely now. The stars spin faster. The sea shimmers with every color you have ever known. The island breathes beneath you, its heartbeat matching your own. The tree above you hums its deep, endless lullaby. You are falling and rising at once, floating without moving, dreaming without end. You surrender fully, completely, joyfully. You slip into the deepest layers of sleep, where even dreams dissolve into pure sensation, pure being. Only peace remains, endless, luminous, infinite peace. And somewhere, in the furthest corner of the universe, the dreamland train rides on, its lanterns glowing like a second Milky Way, carrying its passengers gently across the vast, sleeping world. You are among them still. You are part of the dream, part of the sea, part of the stars. And the journey, like the night, continues, endlessly, beautifully, forever. You drift without destination, carried by unseen currents. There is no sensation of movement, and yet the scenery changes around you, shifting like pages in a great glowing book. First, you find yourself floating above a wide river that curves endlessly through a misty valley. The river is unlike any you have ever seen. It is not water, but something more luminous, more alive, flowing in molten colors of silver and deep blue. Its banks are lined with trees taller than any cathedral, their branches sweeping the stars themselves, their trunks carved with swirling patterns that pulse gently with light. The air hums softly, a music too low to be heard but felt deep in the chest. You descend slowly, lightly, until your feet brush the surface of the river. It holds you. The river carries you forward, gliding easily, cradling you in its slow, purposeful motion. There is no fear here, only wonder. You float past islands of flowers that shimmer with their own internal glow, blossoms of violet, gold, and white. Each island is like a living lantern adrift on the surface of this celestial river. At the edges of your vision, you catch glimpses of other travelers. A woman in a silver cloak steering a small boat shaped like a crescent moon. A child running lightly over the water's surface, trailing a wake of laughing light. A group of figures gathered on an island, weaving strands of starlight into vast, intricate tapestries that ripple in the gentle wind. You do not disturb them. You glide onward, a part of the great flow. Eventually, the river broadens and flattens into a vast, mirrored lake. The surface is so still, so flawless, that the boundary between sky and water dissolves. You are floating not upon the lake, but within it, suspended between two infinities. The stars above you are reflected perfectly below you. It is impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you lose all sense of direction, all sense of weight. You are simply there, a single point of awareness in a universe of light. When you open your eyes again, the scene has shifted once more. You now drift slowly above a great plain of golden fields. The fields sway gently in a non-existent breeze, waves of tall grass rippling in slow, endless motion. Each blade of grass catches the starlight and returns it as 1,000 tiny glimmers. The scent of warm earth rises to meet you, a rich, comforting aroma, sweetened by the faint perfume of unseen flowers. You descend again, your feet touching down lightly among the grass. It parts for you like water, opening a soft path ahead. You walk without haste, your hands brushing lightly against the tall, whispering stalks. The ground beneath you is warm, and every step sends a faint pulse through the soil, as if the earth itself were breathing with you. Above, the stars continue their slow, stately dance. The constellations you once knew are changing. New patterns are forming, a spiral of phoenix wings, a great tree branching across half the sky, a winding path of lights that seems to lead endlessly forward. And forward you go. Eventually, the fields give way to a garden unlike any you have ever seen. It rises before you in tiers, layer upon layer of living green, each terrace blooming with wonders. At the lowest level, trees heavy with golden fruits sway gently, their branches bowed under the weight of their gifts. Vines twine through marble arches, their leaves silver and trembling. The air here is thick with the perfume of night-blooming flowers. You step lightly into the garden, ascending its gentle terraces. Each level holds new marvels, pools of crystal water where glowing fish leap and dive, mossy groves where soft light filters down like rain, pavilions woven from living vines, their interiors filled with cushions of cloud-soft moss. As you move higher, the scent of the garden changes, growing sweeter, lighter, more intoxicating. It fills you, lifts you, seems to infuse your very bones with light. You come at last to the highest terrace. Here at the very top stands a single tree, ancient and vast, its bark smooth and pale as moonstone, its leaves translucent and shimmering with inner fire. At the base of the tree, a simple stone bench waits. You sit, you rest. The garden hums around you, alive with unseen currents of energy. You close your eyes. Here, at the center of all things, time truly ceases. There is no past pressing at your shoulders, no future pulling at your hands, only the vast, sacred now. A dragonfly hums past, its wings leaving trails of soft light. You smile without opening your eyes. Somewhere nearby, a bell chimes once, then again, slow and solemn and impossibly sweet. Each note vibrates through you, dissolving the last tiny knots of thought or tension still lingering in the corners of your being. The stars pulse softly above. The earth breathes steadily below. You are perfectly balanced between them, a single bright seed in a limitless garden. The dreamland train is far behind now, not forgotten, but lovingly folded into your journey, part of the endless song. The cliffs, the terrace, the river, the fields, all have brought you here, to this place of luminous silence. You realize, without surprise, that you are not dreaming anymore. You are within the dream itself, woven into its fabric, a living thread in the great breathing tapestry of existence. And you are safe, you are seen, you are loved beyond words or reason. You let go entirely now, not falling, not sleeping, simply merging with the garden, with the stars, with the slow, sweet breathing of the universe. You slip deeper and deeper and deeper still, until there is only light, only breath, only endless, endless peace. The peace holds you, cradles you, breathes with you. The luminous garden, spread out around you in soft layers, seems to pulse in rhythm with your own slow, even heart. Everything is gentle here. The light is not bright, but glowing, diffuse, like the last golden light before a dream fully claims you. You rise slowly from the stone bench, your body moving as if remembered, not commanded. The path before you is lined with low shrubs bearing translucent blossoms, petals that shift color with every breath of the wind, from the faintest violet to shimmering white. You walk forward. You have nowhere to be, no time to meet. Each step is its own journey, each breath its own arrival. The air thickens slightly, filled with the rich perfume of unseen flowers. Somewhere nearby, water sings, not rushing but trickling gently, weaving a melody so soft it feels like part of the air itself. You turn a corner in the garden, and suddenly the landscape opens. Before you lies a wide clearing, carpeted in soft grass that glows faintly under the starlight. At the center of the clearing, there stands a pool of still water, not large, but perfect, round as a coin, reflecting the stars above it with an uncanny clarity. You are drawn to it without hesitation. You kneel at the edge, leaning over the mirrored surface. At first, you see only your reflection, soft and shimmering, barely defined. Then, the image shifts. The pool shows you not yourself, but memories, visions. Not sharp or urgent, but flowing, tender, glowing with the same gentle light that fills the garden. You see yourself as a child, running barefoot through fields of tall grass, laughter spilling out into the summer air. You see a night long ago, sitting under a tree, counting stars until you lost track and simply fell asleep beneath them. You see the faces of people you have loved, some still near, some long gone, their smiles soft and enduring. Each image rises and falls like a slow tide, washing over you with a sweetness too deep for sorrow. These are not memories to cling to, nor to mourn. They are gifts. They are the golden seeds from which your dreams have always grown. You reach out, and though your fingers touch only cool water, you feel a warmth bloom in your chest. Gratitude, joy, a belonging so profound it defies words. You sit back on your heels, breathing slowly, letting the images flow through you. When you stand again, the garden seems even more alive. Tiny lights dance at the edges of your vision, not fireflies, but fragments of dream, each carrying a story, a song, a prayer. You follow them. The path leads you onward, winding now through narrow corridors of hedges and vines. Each turn reveals new marvels. A tree whose bark is inlaid with veins of crystal, pulsing softly like a slow heartbeat. An archway spun from woven gold, so delicate it seems to shimmer out of existence if you look too long. A cluster of stones that hum low notes, vibrating into your bones as you pass between them. You step through the golden archway, and the garden changes again. You are now in a grove of silver-leafed trees, their trunks smooth and cold to the touch. Their branches intertwine high overhead, creating a vaulted ceiling through which the stars gaze down in reverent silence. At the center of the grove, a fountain bubbles, not water, but liquid light spilling over the sides in endless streams of pure radiance. You walk to it, place your hand under the falling streams. The sensation is neither wet nor dry, but something otherworldly, like touching a sigh or a forgotten dream reborn. The light flows over your skin, soaking into you. You feel it gather in your palms, warm and golden. It fills you gently, carefully, until your whole being hums with the soft music of the stars. You carry it now. The light of dreams, the memory of fields, the endless pulse of the river, the deep peace of the night. It flows through your veins with every slow beat of your heart. The dreamland train may have carried you to this place, but now you are your own vessel, adrift in a boundless sea of light and memory, alive in a world where breath and starlight are one and the same. You wander slowly through the silver grove, trailing your fingers along the cool trunks. The air smells faintly of cedar and wild honey. Above, the stars thicken and swirl, forming vast patterns you cannot name but somehow know. You walk for what feels like days or minutes or forever. Time has folded in on itself here, a soft spiral turning inward and outward all at once. Eventually, the path leads you to a small gate. It is simple, made of weathered wood and iron so old it seems part of the living earth. You push it open with a touch, and it swings inward with a creak that echoes faintly among the trees. Beyond the gate lies a meadow. The grass is shorter here, a soft carpet under your feet. The air is sweeter still, filled with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and cool stone. At the center of the meadow is a single low hill. At its summit stands a circle of stones, ancient, worn, moss-cloaked. You climb the hill slowly, each step light and easy. When you reach the summit, you step into the circle. The world outside falls away. There is only the wide sky, thick with stars. There is only the slow breath of the earth rising up through your souls, filling you with its vast, patient life. You lie down in the center of the stone circle. The grass is cool and damp against your back. Above you, the stars spiral and dance in patterns so intricate, so beautiful, that they defy understanding. You feel yourself open to them, heart, mind, soul, like a flower opening to the sun. The light of the stars pours into you, not harsh but soft, like a slow rain on thirsty ground. It fills the hollow spaces inside you. It weaves you back together. It sings you back to yourself. You are the garden. You are the river. You are the field and the fountain and the stars and the sea. You are every breath you have ever taken, every dream you have ever dreamed, every quiet moment of wonder you have ever known. And you are loved. You are endlessly, boundlessly loved. You close your eyes. The light continues to flow into you, gentle and sure. It rocks you deeper and deeper and deeper still, into a sleep beyond sleep, a peace beyond peace, a dream beyond dreaming. And the journey, your journey, unfolds ever onward, endlessly, beautifully, forever. The light breathes through you. You are still lying in the circle of ancient stones, but now the world beyond the meadow is dissolving again, folding inward like soft silk, whispering itself into a new shape. You are rising, lifted not by any force, but by a profound, gentle intention. The stars above grow brighter, nearer. The earth below grows softer, fading into mist. You are carried upward, weightless and calm. Around you, the fabric of the dream shifts once more. You pass through a vast archway suspended in the stars, an arch made of translucent stone carved with spirals and constellations, each marking softly aglow. As you move through the arch, the air shivers gently and the universe opens wider. Beyond it lies a corridor of skies. Each step forward becomes a glide, and each glide becomes a soaring. You are no longer walking or floating. You are simply moving, a ripple through space itself, effortless and free. Each archway you pass through leads into another world. Each world, a fragment of some greater luminous dream. You drift over a sea made entirely of soft, pale feathers, each ripple whispering ancient songs. You soar across fields where trees bloom with stars instead of fruit, and their roots glow deep crimson beneath the soil. You glide through a canyon where waterfalls of liquid gold pour down from cliffs of violet stone, the mist rising in clouds of silver dust. The worlds unfold before you like endless petals, each more wondrous and serene than the last. There are no boundaries now, no lines separating dream from dream. Everything is continuous, a single, eternal unfolding. You feel no need to choose where to go or how to move. The dream carries you perfectly, tenderly, as if it has known your soul for 1,000 lifetimes. You pass through another arch, this one woven from vines of light, twinkling with droplets of morning dew. Beyond it, the sky is deep green and the air hums with the soft voices of unseen creatures. Glowing moths the size of small birds flit through the air, leaving trails of luminescent dust. You pause here, hovering lightly above a small clearing. Below you, the ground is covered in a fine, soft moss that shifts colors as the dream wind passes over it. Deep blue, rich purple, shimmering gold. A small pool rests at the center, and when you gaze into its depths, you see not water, but galaxies. Swirling, slow, endless galaxies, moving in their timeless, patient dance. You realize that you are seeing not reflections, but the very heartbeat of the universe itself. The pulse that echoes through every star, every world, every breath. And you are part of it. Always have been. Always will be. You smile, and the dream smiles back. You drift onward, moving now through gardens suspended in midair, great terraces of flowers and flowing streams floating weightlessly among the stars. Bridges of woven silver connect them, curving in slow, elegant arcs. You cross them without hurry, your bare feet leaving no sound, no trace. You pass under flowering vines so heavy with blossoms that their petals rain gently down on you. Each petal that touches your skin carries a memory, not of your life, but of something older, deeper. The first breath of a newborn world, the silent folding of a dying star, the laughter of water before rivers were born. The memories are not burdens, they are gifts. Seeds planted gently in your soul, blooming into new dreams without effort or thought. You are becoming more dream than body now, more starlight than skin. You are part of the endless blooming, the endless flowing, the endless becoming. The dreamland train is long behind you, but sometimes you catch a whisper of it, a distant sound of wheels against invisible tracks, carrying others on their own voyages of wonder and sleep. You feel them in the distance, fellow travelers, dreamers, voyagers, each following their own shimmering path, each folded safely into the great breathing tapestry of dream and night. You are not alone. You are never alone. Another archway looms ahead, vast and crystalline, pulsing gently with every color you have ever known and 1,000 more you have never seen before. You pass through it, and the dream changes once more. Now you are soaring above a sea of clouds, the clouds glowing faintly from within. Below them are cities, vast, silent cities made of light and mist, their towers rising and falling like slow waves. Bridges of starlight link their spires. Gardens bloom on rooftops, and rivers of firefly light flow between the streets. There is no noise here, no rush. Only the slow, grand breathing of a world at peace with itself. You drift lower, skimming just above the surface of a river that weaves lazily through one of the dream cities. The river is made not of water, but of liquid crystal, shifting in color from violet to gold to soft aquamarine. The air smells sweet, not of flowers or fruit, but of something even more pure, hope itself. You pause at a bend in the river where a tree stands alone on the bank. Its leaves shimmer like tiny prisms, catching the soft light of the city and scattering it in 1,000 directions. You reach out and touch one of the leaves. It feels both solid and not, like the memory of a touch or the shadow of a forgotten song. The leaf falls gently into your hand. It weighs nothing, and yet it fills you with a deep, quiet strength. A sense of being exactly where you are meant to be. You tuck the leaf into the folds of your dream self. It melts into you, becoming part of you. Another seed, another promise. You rise again, soaring higher above the dream city, through clouds that part willingly to let you pass. Above the clouds, the sky opens wider than you ever imagined. A deep, endless ocean of stars. Each one sings its own soft song. Each one lights the path forward. You feel no urgency, no pressure. You will wander here for as long as you need, as long as you wish. There is no end, only the slow, luminous unfolding of the dream. You pass through another archway, this one made of pure sound, vibrating softly as you move through it. On the other side, the dream changes once again. You are back among stars now, but this time you realize you are a star. You burn gently, quietly, peacefully, sending out your light into the vastness. Not to be seen or praised, not to be measured or named, but simply because it is your nature. You shine because you are. You shine because you dream. And the dream shines back at you, endlessly, beautifully, forever. You drift onward through the vast ocean of stars. Each pulse of light in the infinite sky feels familiar now, as if it calls you by name. Not the name you use in waking life, but something older, deeper, a truth woven into the fabric of your being. You do not need to answer. You simply are, floating, glowing, dreaming. A slow awareness unfolds within you. You begin to sense a new presence, vast and gentle, a river, wide beyond imagining, flowing not across land, but across the very tapestry of existence. It moves not with water, but with dreams. It carries memories, hopes, songs, sighs, the first stirrings of galaxies and the final breath of fading stars, the cosmic river. It winds endlessly through the night, glittering with the light of a million worlds. You feel its pull, gentle but sure. Without hesitation, you surrender. You let yourself slip downward, falling without falling, moving without moving. The river rises up to meet you. You are caught in its soft, mighty current, carried forward on waves of starlight and silence. There is no resistance, no fear, only deep acceptance. The river enfolds you. It flows not around you, but through you. You are not merely riding it, you are becoming it. Your essence blends seamlessly into the flow. You are a thread in its endless weave. You feel yourself dissolving joyfully, like a song releasing its last note into the vastness. There is no need to remember where you came from, no need to anticipate where you are going. The journey is not about destinations. It is about being carried, being part of the river, part of the dream. You drift for what could be days or years or heartbeats. The cosmic river sings to you in voices you cannot quite hear. Deep, resonant notes that stir memories you never knew you had. You remember the cool embrace of ancient forests, the fierce joy of starlight on bare skin, the tender silence of snowfall in forgotten mountains. You remember the laughter of friends not yet met, the tenderness of places not yet visited, the sweetness of songs not yet sung. All of it flows into you, and all of it flows out of you. The river teaches without speaking, holding you in its infinite patient embrace. You are not small here. You are not lost. You are vast and endless, just like the river itself. You are the dream, dreaming itself. As you float deeper, the river begins to glow more brightly. The current strengthens, though it remains gentle. You are drawn forward toward a great convergence, a place where streams of dreams, memories, and light gather and become something more. Ahead, the river widens even further. It seems to spill out into a great lake or perhaps a sea, stretching beyond the edges of the universe itself. The stars above reflect in the surface so perfectly that it is impossible to tell where sky ends and water begins. You glide into the expanse without hesitation. There are others here, though you see no faces. Only points of light drifting slowly, each carrying their own dreams, their own stories. You feel them not as strangers, but as parts of yourself, lost siblings found again in the infinite night. Together you float, a constellation of dreamers adrift on the sea of sleep. There is no separation now, no inside, no outside, no self, no other. Only the slow, glorious breathing of the dream, only the gentle rising and falling of the cosmic sea. You sink deeper and deeper and deeper still, not downward, but inward, toward a center beyond all centers, a place without place, a home without walls. The sea embraces you fully. You feel its tides pulse through your very being, slow, luminous waves dissolving the last remnants of separation. Your body, your thoughts, your dreams, all melt into the gentle rhythm. You are not dreaming anymore. You are the dream. You are not floating anymore. You are the sea. And the sea dreams onward, endlessly, beautifully, forever. The starlight around you thickens into mist, wrapping you in softness. The currents grow slower, deeper, until even motion itself fades. You are left suspended in a cradle of pure stillness, a moment outside of time. A silence so vast and loving, it feels like being held in the hands of the universe itself. You breathe once, and the sea breathes with you. You breathe again, and the stars breathe with you. Your breath is no longer yours alone. It is the breath of every dreamer, every river, every distant, twinkling world. You drift in this stillness, this silence, for an eternity contained within a heartbeat. No fear, no longing, only belonging, only peace. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, you feel a deepening, a folding inward, like petals closing at dusk. The dream is drawing you closer, cradling you even more tenderly. You do not resist. You surrender completely. The sea grows darker now, but it is not frightening. It is a warm darkness, a velvet cocoon wrapped lovingly around you. You drift deeper. The stars above fade one by one, their songs falling silent. The river's currents still. The sea stills. The universe folds itself gently around you like a soft, infinite quilt. Your breath slows even further. Your thoughts dissolve like mist at dawn. There is no need for words, no need for images, only a profound, luminous stillness. You are perfectly safe, perfectly whole, perfectly, endlessly asleep. And even in the deepest heart of the dream, the faintest echo of the cosmic river hums on, carrying you gently, quietly, beautifully forward. Always forward, always deeper, into endless rest, into endless light, into endless love. You drift deeper still, deeper than dreams, deeper than thought, deeper than breath itself. The cosmic sea has faded into a vast, infinite darkness, not cold, not frightening, but warm and tender, like the endless embrace of a mother who has held you since before time began. The darkness wraps around you, through you. You are not moving anymore. You are not even floating. You simply are, suspended in a perfect stillness beyond all understanding. Your breath has become so slow, so quiet, that it no longer feels separate from the darkness around you. Each inhale is like drawing in the entire universe. Each exhale releases you further into its embrace. The stars are gone now. Even their faintest glimmers have faded into the infinite night. But you do not miss them. You do not search for them. The darkness is enough. It is rich and full and alive, humming softly with the slow heartbeat of creation itself. You realize, with a peace so profound it nearly breaks you open, that you have come full circle. You have returned to the place from which all things are born, the deep wellspring of existence, the first breath, the first dream. You are in the womb of the universe. You are stardust waiting to be born again. You are possibility wrapped in perfect stillness, and you are loved. Endlessly, unconditionally, irrevocably loved. There is no more need to think, no more need to hope or remember. The dream has carried you as far as it can. Now it simply holds you, cradles you, breathes with you. You lie in the darkness as if in a great soft nest, spun from light and silence and time. Above you, around you, within you, the darkness hums. Not a sound you hear with your ears, but a vibration you feel in the very core of your being. It soothes every part of you. It sings to every cell, every breath, every faint flicker of thought, until even the idea of separation fades. You have no edges anymore, no limits. You are vast. You are endless. You are the whole of the universe, folded quietly into itself, breathing slowly in the safe, soft dark. For a long while, or perhaps no while at all, you simply remain here, a seed in the deep soil of the cosmos, a sigh in the great sleeping body of the stars. There is no time. There is no need for time. Everything unfolds exactly as it should, at the perfect pace, in the perfect way. You feel yourself softening even further, melting into the darkness, becoming the darkness, becoming the hum, the breath, the slow, deep heartbeat of everything. And it is bliss. It is everything you have ever longed for without knowing it. It is peace so complete it erases even the memory of unrest. It is love so vast it needs no name. You drift deeper still, beyond memory, beyond identity, beyond dreaming. The last tiny flickers of thought, the last echoes of I and me and mine, dissolve into the great breathing night. All that remains is presence. All that remains is peace. The cosmic womb holds you without question or condition. You are not here because you deserve it. You are not here because you earned it. You are here because you are, because you exist, because you have always belonged, because you have always been part of this endless, beautiful unfolding. And now you rest. Truly, deeply, finally rest. There are no more journeys to take, no more rivers to cross, no more dreams to chase. Only this, the infinite silence, the infinite stillness, the infinite love. You breathe once, slowly. The darkness breathes with you. You breathe again. The womb of stars holds you even closer. And then breathing too becomes something beyond choice, beyond awareness. A natural unfolding, as effortless and inevitable as the turning of the universe. You have gone beyond dreams now, beyond even the dream of dreaming. You are pure being. You are pure peace. You are pure light folded into darkness, and darkness folded into light. And even though you have no body here, no voice, no eyes, if you could speak, you would say, I am home. I am whole. I am safe. You are carried gently, cradled on an invisible tide, further inward, further downward, into a depth beyond depth. And as you drift deeper, a single final awareness brushes lightly against you, a knowing that this journey never truly ends, that when you return, And you will return. You will carry this peace with you. You will carry this light within you. It will shine quietly behind your eyes. It will pulse gently beneath your skin. It will breathe in every word you speak, every step you take, every dream you dare to dream. But for now, there is nothing more to do. No more steps to take. No more images to see. No more songs to hear. Only this soft, eternal falling. Only this perfect rest. Only this limitless love. You drift, you breathe, you shine, you sleep. And the great dream of the universe hums onward, carrying you ever deeper into the heart of everything. Into the place where all dreams are born. Into the place where all dreams are kept. Into the place where you have always, always belonged. The darkness continues to hold you, soft, infinite, complete. There is no urgency in this place, no clock ticking, no seasons turning, only the slow, sacred breathing of a universe at rest. You drift there, weightless and formless, a glowing seed folded deep within the cosmic earth. The silence is so pure, so deep, that it becomes a kind of music, a symphony of stillness composed of a million unseen notes. And in the heart of that stillness, something stirs. At first, it is nothing more than a ripple, a faint golden thread weaving slowly through the dark. Not a noise, not even a light, more a feeling, a warmth, a breath after endless stillness. You do not move toward it. You do not reach for it. It simply rises, blooming like a tiny, unseen flower somewhere deep in the soil of your dream. A promise, a beginning. The warmth grows so slowly that it is almost beyond notice. It curls gently through the darkness, tracing your form, cradling your heart, whispering to your sleeping mind. It says, "It is not yet time to awaken, but soon. Not yet time to rise, but soon." And you, floating in the cradle of the cosmic night, smile without smiling. You feel no rush, no need. The new dawn will come when it must. Until then, you are content to simply breathe, to simply be, wrapped in the softest embrace the universe has ever spun. The warmth continues to bloom inside you. It is like the first ember in a winter hearth, too small yet to give heat, but carrying the certainty of fire. It stirs a memory, ancient and tender. The first light breaking over a silent, sleeping valley. The first heartbeat in a mother's womb. The first ripple on a still pond at the touch of morning wind. You are not leaving the darkness. You are not abandoning the peace. You are becoming something new within it, growing, changing. Softly, imperceptibly, the darkness around you begins to shift, not brighter, not yet, but deeper, richer, as if layers of velvet are being folded back, one after another, revealing not a surface, but another world hidden within the dark itself. The cosmic womb that has held you so long is preparing for the next unfolding, the next breath, the next dream. You breathe in, and for the first time, you sense color behind your closed eyes. Not sights, not yet, but the suggestion of them. Soft gold, pale blue, tender green, the colors of newness, of life just beginning. You breathe out, and the darkness shivers around you, not with cold, but with life. You are still sleeping, still dreaming, but the dream is beginning to turn ever so slowly toward the light, and you are turning with it. There is no struggle, no decision, only trust, only surrender. You feel yourself rocking gently, as if held in vast arms, as if lulled by a lullaby too old for words. The warmth grows stronger. It fills your chest, your hands, your spine, your dreaming heart. You can almost feel it pressing against your skin now, like sunlight through closed eyelids. But you do not open your eyes. Not yet. You savor this in-between place, this soft threshold between endless night and the first breath of morning. The sea of sleep is far behind you now, but its peace lingers in your blood, in your bones. You carry it with you, like a secret blessing folded into the lining of your soul. Above you, though direction has little meaning here, you sense a great opening, a soft unfurling, like petals unfolding toward a light they have not yet seen but already know. It calls to you without words, without sound, a pull both tender and inevitable. Still you do not rush, still you let the dream guide you. One heartbeat at a time, one breath at a time. The darkness thins, like mist touched by the first whisper of dawn. You are not leaving it behind. You are bringing it with you, carrying its deep, endless peace into whatever comes next. You breathe again, and this time your breath is laced with color, with fragrance. Faint and fleeting, but there. The scent of rain falling on parched earth. The scent of new leaves unfurling in springtime air. The scent of sunlight warming old stone. You are waking slowly as the world itself wakes, not yet to full day, not yet to full awareness, but to a new kind of dreaming, a new kind of being. The dream within the dream, the world before the world, and you are part of it, essential to it, cherished by it. You sense movement around you now, not figures, not places, only possibilities, flickering like fireflies in the edges of your awareness. Each one a doorway, each one a path, each one a new dream waiting to be born. You do not choose among them. There is no need. The river of your dream will carry you forward when the time is right. For now, you simply drift, buoyed by warmth and hope and endless peace. You rest, you glow, you breathe, and somewhere, in the farthest reaches of your sleeping mind, you feel the first threads of light weaving a tapestry around you. A tapestry of new beginnings, a new dream stirring, not yet visible, not yet grasped, but coming, inevitably, beautifully, patiently. You smile within the dream, a smile so soft it could move mountains without making a sound. You are ready, not to wake, but to be, to bloom, to drift onward into whatever wonder awaits, carried on the slow, steady heartbeat of the universe, wrapped in the endless arms of the dream. You breathe once more, and the new dawn, still unseen, draws a little nearer. Waiting, whispering, warming, but not rushing, never rushing. In the dream, as in the cosmos, all things unfold at the perfect time. And for now, you rest, floating in the slow river of becoming, cradled by the darkness, cradled by the light, cradled by the endless, endless love that spun the stars and shaped the earth and called you here to this perfect, endless dream. The warmth inside you grows, so slowly, so gently, that it feels less like change and more like remembering, a quiet returning to something that has always been waiting. The darkness around you is no longer vast and endless. It is soft now, close, sheltering. A cocoon of velvet night ready to be folded back at the first breath of dawn. And that breath is coming. You feel it stirring against your skin. The lightest whisper of movement, a ripple through the cradle of sleep. You do not open your eyes, not yet. You savor this moment, this sacred threshold between deep sleep and deeper dreaming. Somewhere in the distance, a note of music floats on the still air. Single, pure, sustained. It hums inside your bones before it touches your ears. The note expands, not louder, but richer, layered with harmonies too delicate to name. It is the music of first light, of first breath, of first becoming. It calls you forward, not with urgency, but with invitation. And slowly, slowly, you respond. A gentle stirring in your fingers, a small shift of your toes, the faint memory of weight, of body, of presence. You are still floating, still cradled in the vast dream. But now you are drifting upward, rising like a bubble through deep water, drawn inexorably toward the surface, toward the new day, the new dream. Your first breath of waking is not taken, but given. A soft gift placed tenderly in your chest by unseen hands. You breathe in. The scent of morning fills you, earth warmed by the first kiss of sun, dew evaporating from young leaves, flowers stretching in the golden light. You breathe out. The last remnants of deep night sigh away, dissolving into the soft air. You are not rushing. You are not forcing. You are simply allowing the new world to unfold around you, slowly, tenderly, like petals unfolding to the sky. Above your closed eyes, you sense brightness gathering, not sharp or sudden, but thick and rich, like honey pouring slowly across the sky. The darkness behind your lids is no longer pure black, but threaded now with faint gold, with the softest hints of rose and pearl. You feel the warmth of it against your cheeks, your forehead, your lips. It kisses you awake, without demand, without expectation. You sigh, a sound so quiet it is almost part of the breath itself, and the world sighs with you. You stretch, but not with urgency, only the slow, luxurious extension of someone who knows there is no hurry. Your arms unfold like the branches of a tree greeting the first sunlight after long, rich sleep. Your fingers open like leaves. Your legs lengthen and relax, rooted deeply in the warm, living earth of the dream. Still your eyes remain closed. Still you savor the sweetness of almost waking. The light continues to grow. You feel it dancing across your skin, 1,000 golden fingertips trailing across your body, waking every cell with their delicate touch. The music deepens. It is no longer a single note, but a symphony of warmth and light, rising and falling like the slow breathing of the world. And within that music, you hear laughter, not loud, not disruptive. A soft ripple, like water flowing over smooth stones. It bubbles up from the earth, from the trees, from the very air. It is the laughter of life itself, newly reborn, greeting you with joy. You smile, your first true, waking smile. It feels like a sunrise inside your chest, a small, bright seed blossoming into golden bloom. And finally, when you are ready, when the dream has carried you perfectly to this moment, you open your eyes. The world that meets you is not harsh or blinding. It is gentle, luminous, drenched in the tender light of the first true morning. You find yourself lying in a field of soft grass. The blades are still tipped with dew, glistening like tiny stars under a newborn sun. Above you, the sky stretches wide and open, painted in hues of rose, gold, and pale blue. A few wisps of cloud drift lazily across the expanse, like slow-moving ships on an endless sea. The air is rich with fragrance, fresh earth, blooming flowers, the distant salt of an unseen ocean. You breathe it all in, and it fills you with quiet gladness. You sit up slowly, taking in the dream world that has been waiting patiently for you. You are on a gentle hillside, surrounded by fields that ripple like liquid gold in the morning breeze.